I'm Ahmed Arif. We've made a film called Melee. In English, it's called Riff Raff. It's in black and white. It's 15 minutes long. One of the films that's inspired me a lot is La Dolce Vita, Fellini. And it's this guy who has this sort of a social life which is quite happening but questionable in terms of its substance and depth. And then he has a home life which is different. And I think that's quite universal. A lot of us have an external life and then an internal life, and then sometimes there's not a complete. They don't come together very well. So that's what happens in this one. It's one evening in upper middle class Karachi, where a guy is trying to maneuver between his the deceptive allure of his social scene and the reality he has at home, and that's what we explore in 15 minutes. So this is an art form which is not like writing a poem or painting. This is an art form that has, by its definition, a capital element to it. So, which is technology, which is ultimately money. And that's the biggest problem, is money. So that's what we faced as the biggest issue. We didn't want any support because we didn't want any kind of compromise. So basically it was self-funded. The actors, the crew, some of them are quite expensive, some of them are people who are professionals in this field, and they agreed with what we were trying to do, and they pretty much all of the cast worked for free, even though some of them are quite expensive. The director of photography, who's here actually right now, he, again, expensive, but said, I want to work with you, and it was free. It was still very expensive because there's all kinds of equipment and capital costs. So that was the biggest problem. I mean, in terms of shooting, we had a lot of car driving scenes, and at one point we were stopped by the cops. What are you doing? At one point we were in a red zone with the French consulate there, and they stopped us and they said, what are you doing? And it was a bit of a problem, and then you had to pay the guy, and then when we paid the guy, he said, okay, can you put me in the movie? So then we shot him as well. We didn't keep the scene, but no, we managed. I think the biggest problem was money. See, we have a little collective called Cinema Pure. It's something we've started a couple of years ago. This is the second film we're doing with that. And this is a collective where professional, commercial film professionals come and say, okay, we're going to 51 weeks or 50 weeks we're doing commercial work. We're going to spend 2 weeks doing stuff which is not commercial. So in order to do that, and given that we didn't have funding, we said we're going to use the cheapest possible equipment. I don't think anywhere in a festival today you'll see films that are made on a 5D. So we made a film on a 5D because it saves money on memory, it saves money, if you have a 4K. And also so many filmmakers, when you talk to them, they have the pedigree, they have the knowledge of what constitutes quality cinema, and yet they are making Lollywood movies with songs and dances. And you ask them, guys, you've grown up with Bergman, you've grown up with Satyajit Ray, you're doing this, why? And they said, because it's too expensive to make a movie. So we said, here, we've made a movie on nothing. I am trying to eliminate this divide, and I think that when you watch our film, and of course I'm biased, but I would hope that if you spoke to the audience, they would echo what I'm saying, is that when the movie is playing, you are completely focused on the screen and not thinking about checking your Facebook or looking at your popcorn or whatever. And so even though our motivation was entirely artistic, if you get people's eyes stuck to the screen for the duration of the film, that by definition means you can make money. People who fund you don't think that way. Maybe our film, when we go to try to raise funding for a feature, we can say to people who have the money, who are funding films with item numbers and dances and all of that, and the whole Lollywood, Bollywood style, that guys, yes, you're funding all of that, but look, we've made a movie which is black and white, but nobody's looking away from the screen. So why can't you sell it? So I'm saying that if you can get people interested, even if you're not doing the traditional things, there's financial possibilities there. And that's what I want to sell at some point, so that I can do what I think is artistic and true. And someone says there's money in there. That's the goal. That's the holy grail, if you will.